Let me share with you the powerful and deeply moving tale of Zaynab. May Allah be pleased with her, the eldest daughter of the Messenger. Her life was woven with blessings and sewn together with devotion, but also marked by the torment of sacrifice, longing, and unyielding hope. Zaynab's heart brimmed with love, yet in obedience to her Lord, she had to let go of the one she cherished most. Her husband, firm in his old beliefs, would not accept Islam. He would eventually stand opposed to the believers, even joining the ranks against them in the Battle of Badr. Years slipped by, heavy with yearning and trials she could not have foreseen. On the journey of migration, she was seized, her young daughter by her side, suffering cruelty at the hands of her enemies. Yet with every wound and every tear, Zaynab's resolve only grew. Her trust in Allah deepened, her patience became adamantine. Within her chest, a persistent yearning to be reunited, first with her father, then with her beloved spouse, if Allah willed. She endured bitter tests, and her time in this world was painfully brief. The Prophet, overwhelmed with anguish, laid his own daughter to rest, his tears soaking the earth. The seldom heard chronicle of her life will reach into your soul, reminding us all how immense the price of love can be, and how faith can transform even heartbreak into the purest legacy. Before we continue, where in the world are you hearing this story? Let us know in the comments. Your presence and prayers matter deeply to us and our entire community. Each listener's journey is a thread in our wider tapestry, binding us together in remembrance. Now let's step back in time to Mecca, 23 years before the Prophet's migration. Muhammad was barely into his 30s, still relishing the blessings of his union with Khadijah. May Allah be pleased with her. Their first child, Qasim, had returned to his Lord, and soon, anticipation filled their walls. Would their next child be a son or daughter? When the news arrived, the women in Khadijah's home grew anxious. In those days of darkness, baby girls were greeted with sorrow and shame. Many fathers would avert their eyes, burdened with regret. But when Zaynab entered the world, there was no shadow in the Prophet's face, only gratitude and pure delight. He thanked the bearer of glad tidings, his heart filled with light no ignorance could extinguish. In every way, Muhammad stood apart from the callousness of his age. He abhorred vice and rejected the cruelty of burying daughters alive, a stain on that time. He yearned for these evils to be washed from the earth. When Zaynab was born, he embraced her as a divine gift, openly calling himself the father of a daughter, with pride, not shame. He carried the infant home, naming her Zaynab, her presence filling their house with laughter and promise. The years unfurled gently. Zaynab blossomed under her father's loving care, a balm to his grieving heart after the loss of Qasim. She matured quickly, enveloping her younger siblings in kindness and quietly supporting her mother's burdens. Her character whispered that she was prepared for new responsibilities. Her aunt's son, Abu al-As, often visited. He was drawn to Zaynab's dignity, cheerful spirit, and gentle competence. Khadijah saw with wisdom the sparks of mutual appreciation, knowing that true joy in marriage is kindled by such respect. And so, the next chapter in Zaynab's life began to unfold, radiant as the dawn. Abu al-As was a merchant of rare honesty, trustworthy, upright, gaining respect wherever he traveled. After each trade expedition, whether to distant Damascus or Yemen, he returned bearing thoughtful gifts for Khadijah and her children, small gestures that endeared him to all. One day, Abu al-As confided his wish to marry Zaynab. With sincere approval, Khadijah brought the proposal to the Prophet. Demonstrating wisdom and respect, the Prophet insisted Zaynab be asked her opinion first. At the perfect moment, Khadija gently approached her daughter, mentioning that her cousin had spoken of marriage. Zaynab answered in silence, a silence that sealed her consent. The wedding was celebrated with warmth and generosity, animals slaughtered, food shared, joy abounding. The Prophet himself walked his daughter to her new home, basking in her happiness. For Abu al-As, Zaynab's companionship made his household radiant. Their life together brimmed with tenderness and mutual respect. Whenever Abu al-As departed for his travels, Zaynab would stay with her parents, tending lovingly to them. Upon one return, Zaynab noticed a profound transformation in her father's countenance. He was forever changed. The divine revelation had descended to him in the solitude of Hira. Curiosity led her to her mother. "Mother, what has happened to father?" she asked, sensing the magnitude of the moment. Khadija explained. The angel Gabriel had delivered Allah's message. Her father had been chosen as the final guide for all humanity. "I believe in him and in his mission," she affirmed. Upon hearing this, Zaynab, overcome with certainty, whispered, "If you have faith, mother, then so do I." They both pronounced the testimony of faith, among the earliest souls to embrace Islam. From then, Zaynab devoted herself to supporting her father's path. Once, while the Prophet was spreading the call in Mecca, he was assaulted. The Quraysh hurled filth upon him. Zaynab, heart aching, rushed to wipe the dust from his beloved face, only for him to comfort her. "Do not fear, my daughter. Your father will never be disgraced." When Abu al-As returned from a journey, he was greeted with rumor. Mecca was whispering about a new prophecy, and his own father-in-law was named as the prophet. On returning home, he asked Zaynab directly, "Is it true? Has your father become a messenger?" Zaynab looked at him with gentle conviction. "Yes, and I too have surrendered to Islam. You know my father's unshakable character. Has he ever been doubted? Our friends, your relatives, they have entered this faith. My beloved, will you not join us?" Abu al-As, conflicted, replied honestly, "By God, your father is al-Amin, the trustworthy. Never have I doubted his word. But I fear what people would say, that I abandoned my ancestors' way just for you." Despite his reluctance, he never prevented her devotion or disturbed her faith. The leaders of Mecca relentlessly pressured Abu al-As to divorce Zaynab, promising him alliances with the city's most influential families. Still, he held firm, always replying that his wife was loyal and virtuous, that he could never forsake her. Left behind in Mecca as the Muslims migrated, Zaynab continued to nurture her faith and secretly learn the Quran's revelations, consistently praying for her husband's guidance. She waited, steadfast and resilient, letting patience be her shield as suffering pressed in on every side. She knew that life's pain is fleeting, and that steadfastness always brings a hidden mercy. After the Muslims' migration and the Prophet's own departure, Zaynab, separated from her family, endured the ache of distance as well as the hardship of her marriage. When war flared between Quraysh and the Muslims at Badr, Abu al-As was among those who fought on the opposite side. The Muslims, though few, won by Allah's secret aid, and Abu al-As was captured. Zaynab, hearing the news, hastened to ransom her husband, sending all the wealth she had, including a cherished necklace once given to her by her mother, Khadija. When the Prophet saw the necklace, his heart quaked with sorrowful memory. He asked his companions, "If you wish, return it, for this is a precious reminder of my beloved Khadija." They agreed, moved by compassion and respect. In exchange for his freedom, Abu al-As gave his solemn word to send Zaynab to Medina, for the guidance of revelation had now forbidden believing women from remaining with polytheist husbands. He honored this promise. Before departing Mecca, Zaynab visited her mother's resting place, her soul weighed down by grief, her daughter in her arms, prayers and tears flowing freely. Prepared for her journey, she left Mecca by day, with her cousin Kenana leading the way. The separation between husband and wife was heartrending. Their eyes met for the last time, tears falling without restraint. Abu al-As, heavy with regret, confessed, "Were it not for my oath to your father, I would never have let you go, my Zaynab." Their hearts broke as Kenana guided Zaynab and her daughter away, but their passage was not unhindered. The Quraysh pursued them and in a violent moment attacked their camel. Zaynab fell, wounded and bruised. Instinctively, Kenana stood armed in her defense, vowing to protect her with his life. The pursuers, wary, convinced Kenana to return Zaynab for now, promising her safe departure by night. With gentle care, the wounds healed. Then, under the cover of darkness, Zaynab began her migration anew. All through this ordeal, she prayed for the guidance of the man she loved. Their marriage had spanned 16 tranquil years. Never once had Abu al-As raised his voice or treated her harshly. Love, patience, and trust defined their bond. After a grueling journey, the small caravan reached Medina. The Prophet welcomed his daughter and praised Abu al-As. He spoke truthfully, kept his promise, and returned what he owed. Such integrity did not go unnoticed. Back in Mecca, longing for his family, Abu al-As immersed himself in commerce. On a subsequent journey, his caravan was ambushed near Medina. Captured by Muslims, he managed to flee and sought sanctuary in Zaynab's home. At dawn, she rose and her voice, carrying through the mosque, proclaimed his protection in front of the believers. The Prophet honored her pledge. "Whatever protection Zaynab has granted, we uphold." He advised Zaynab to treat her estranged husband with kindness, but maintain boundaries, for the faith prohibited their union so long as he remained outside Islam. She obeyed, offering him hospitality, but restraining the longing of her heart. Moved by their mercy, the Muslims returned all of Abu al-As's property. Deeply touched by this gesture, his heart grew inclined toward faith. Yet he hesitated to accept Islam at once, lest others claim he had done so only to reclaim his wealth. Completing his duties, he returned to Mecca and made a public declaration. "I have returned all that was entrusted to me. Am I not known for my honesty?" The crowd affirmed his reputation. Then, he declared his belief, the testimony of faith, before all. Instantly, he made his way to Medina, to the Prophet's mosque, announcing his faith among the believers. The Prophet welcomed him, restoring his marriage with Zaynab. Their hearts, once splintered by pain, rejoiced in reunion. But happiness, in this world, is always fleeting. Within the year, Zaynab became gravely ill. Her many ordeals had sapped her strength. Around the age of 30, she returned to her Creator. Family and friends gathered to bid her farewell, tears flowing freely. The Prophet instructed, "Wash her with care, beginning from the right side and the parts purified in ablution. Use camphor or fragrance for the final wash. When you are done, inform me." He sent his own shirt to serve as her inner garment and led her funeral prayer, carrying her to her resting place. Standing at the edge of the grave, the Prophet gazed into the shadows, then descended, praying with fervor. When he rose again, relief softened his face. "I have asked Allah to widen her grave and grant her ease. He has answered my request." Through unwavering faith, gentle patience, and steadfast devotion, Zaynab's example endures. Her love, woven with reverence and humility, turned her husband's heart to Islam. She showed us that faith can triumph over pain, and that genuine love, rooted in mutual respect, can move mountains. Love is more than a feeling. It is a sacred energy that draws us toward wholeness, healing, and peace. In nurturing one another, in holding faith fast through our darkest nights, we open ourselves to the mercy of our Lord. May we be inspired by Zaynab's journey, and may we one day join these luminous souls in the gardens of eternity. O Allah, accept from us our struggles, our loneliness, our fatigue, and our sorrow. Heal us where we are broken, and let your tranquility descend onto our restless hearts. You, the ever-living, when all else perishes, you abide. If ever you feel lost beneath the vast sky, remember, you are not alone. Here, in this space, we are companions on the journey. Please help this story reach more yearning souls by subscribing, sharing, and leaving your thoughts below. Let's extend this circle of healing, so that others may also be uplifted and held by the remembrance of the divine.